Dr. Marvin Edwards Spink, Consul General of the Texas Territory. Today's date is February 8th, 2025. We give honors to our National Assistant Grand Chief, Dr. General Minty Helm, as Sexual, for the opening of our meeting according to law, and honors to Dr. Marvin Edwards Spink, Consul General of the Texas Territory, for the reading of our chapter of the week of our Holy Quran and taking registration. We want to welcome everyone to our Moorish Perspectives class, sponsored by our Moorish American government. Our host, our National Assistant Grand Chief of Moorish America. Subject coming from Ayah 17, but he drew a veil about his form, and men could see him not. And at this time, we will call to the floor our National Assistant Grand Chief and host of our Moorish Perspectives class, Dr. Shedwa Mintiel Moezi Sexual. Are you unmuted?
Islam, can you hear me, Brother Evans Bay?
Islam, National Assistant Grand Chief, I hear you well. Islam, you have the floor.
Gratitude. Islamism without the schism. Islam, Islam, Islam. Islam, Moorish America. On the rise upon the seventh, within the circle of justice, mercy, love, and right, and give all praises to the great God Allah, Father God Allah, and honors to his holy prophet, honors to our holy prophet, Noble Drew Ali, Al-Hajj Sharif Abdul Ali, that is. We give honors to our Moorish kin once again here, there, and everywhere, and therefore honors to all of you who are continuously honoring yourselves by being yourselves. We give honors to our Grand National Seal. We give honors to our Grand National Emblem, National Flag, Divine Constitution and bylaws, and honors to all of you who are indeed a living manifestation and personification of everything that our Holy Prophet brought to exhume us as a nation. I want to welcome you to another Moorish Perspectives. Now I'm your host instructor, Dr. Shaheed Imani Amohadi Shabazel. My ancient committee and high name being the same as Dr. Shedwa Minty Mohed Shepsuel. And we have a grand drawing to bring forth to our Moorish kin tonight in reference to dealing with our subject chapter. And we're going to be drawing from a grand measure in this particular chapter, and let's just say it's going to be, like I say, a grand drawing for us to go into the essence of this special measure. This chapter, the ministry of John the Harbinger, as he returns to Hebron and lives as a hermit in the wilds and visits Jerusalem and speaks to the people, has many different jewels in it. And we seen the reference, like I said, in our last session, where we talked about him being in the wilderness. And, he made his home, in that particular wilderness many years before, and was instructed by the Egyptian sages in plural. That means that he went through various different priesthoods in reference to dealing with the training, so to speak. So what we did is we took it upon ourselves to draw from Ayat 17, where he actually had disappeared, and the people had strove to follow him, but he drew a veil about his form. And we want to get into this particular measure. The master word here is veil, and we can look at this also in the aspect of he, our holy prophet, Noble Drew Ali, drew a veil about his form, and carnal men can see him not. If they are looking for the physical, they can't see him. Just like the pure in heart has to be able to see through the eyes of purity, be able to recognize the presence of the king, so to speak. So this is going to be a grand drawing. And there's nothing wrong with drawing a veil about the form. Even we, in certain cases, should draw a veil about our form as well. In fact, we should draw a veil about the physical form, so that we may tap into the spiritual form, so to speak. Because if we get too caught up in the manifest, we already know how that demonstration can go. Yeah, Allah is definitely leading on, and victory is assured. We're going, like I said, we're going to go into this particular measure deep into the essence of it and try to go into some science as it relates to this special draw. Because there are no strange happenings. We already know that we are here with a purpose. All of us have a purpose when it comes to dealing with knowing exactly where we come from and knowing exactly where we are to go. Remember, it was the Harbinger that taught John, the cleansing rites. You see, so it shouldn't be strange at this particular time, that after being taught the cleansing rite, now he can go about and demonstrate the purification process. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go into the actual definition of this word veil as it relates to the Arabic language. And for those who are already familiar, that word is actually hijab. The hijab has been given a bad rap, because they say, oh, look at the women, they forced to cover their faces up. They got to cover their whole body and all this right here. This is one of the stigmas, that's been promoted out here to have people go away from the teachings of Islam when it comes to our sisters, especially. You got sisters that have something to do with wearing the turban. They'll wrap their head up when it comes to dealing with a style all day long, but when it comes to dealing with a turban, they got a problem with that. So we want to get into the essence of this particular measure. So what I'm going to do, before I go into this special drawing, I want us to reflect again on some of these ayats. Remember, John was preparing the way, the harbinger for the coming of the king, as we spoke of last week. And we know that the one who is over what we call our capital, empire, and dominion is the supreme ruler, Prophet Noble Drew Ali. We told our people in our last drawing, be not disturbed, you rulers of the state. The coming king is no antagonist. He seeks no place on the earthly throne. So this was one of the measures dealing with John. The people weren't even always ready to receive what it was that he had to bring to them to prepare them. During the age of preparation, less knowing, speaking of being able to embrace the age of fulfillment. Many of us may overlook this, but this is true. And also, being that there were men who did not like the truth, the carnal men, John knew that he had to protect himself, from crazy people in a frenzy that would have sought to do harm to him. So we're not looking at the veil in the likes of this aspect where we got to try to hide ourselves, from a state of fear and so forth and so on. That's not what we promote here. For those who would like to have a link You can come up on the link because we sent it out to the email, by the way. So if you want to come up on the panel, the link is in the email. But yeah, as we go into this particular drawing, we see what the chapter entails. So it's a powerful demonstration here. He told them, of some of the crimes that had been being committed and all of this. So you already know they was ready to do something to him. Put that drawing in this modern time. You see, they strove to follow him. Some followed him to probably take heed to what he had to bring, but then the others strove to followed him because they wanted to do him some harm. Yeah, so let me go and I'm gonna pull this up. I'm gonna share my screen real quick. And then I go further. Okay, so we're gonna share the screen. We got it here. Where in the world is my? Oh, I was gonna say I'm missing the drawing here. I know I had it pulled up. Okay, so now I can share it. Okay, there we go. All right. So the word, hijaba, hajaba. It means to cover. It means veil. It also means hinder anyone from access. It means shut out, veil, curtain, screen, barrier. Majabuna, majabuna, veil, shut out, blind. Hijab, a barrier, right? Majibun, blinds. So when you look at blinds, in a window, this is a barrier. It's a curtain. You see? Again, a screen. But the main drawing here, the most powerful aspect, deals with the hinder one from access. This is what you have to do when it becomes, the measure of becoming a hermit, or going into the self, to migrate away from the world and go into the self is a form of the true meaning of hijab. You see? And in fact, whether our people know it or not, this word hijab had various different meanings when it even came to the Grand Quran. Let's go into the Grand Quran real quick and deal with this word hijab and get some of the meanings out of this. It's easy now because you got what you call a little AI. It's a two-edged sword, so to speak. Let's see. I want our people to see this right here that have no knowledge of this so they can have some deeper insight. Okay. Well, and all you got to do is pull up a measure. What does Allah say about the Quran? In the Quran, it tells you, and it's mentioned, the word hijab is mentioned specifically only twice in the Quran. Surah 24 Al-Nur and Surah 33 Azab.
Islam?
When you come in Al-Nur, and you done heard me quote this before. Many of our people have heard me quote this ayat here a lot of times. Al-Nur, when it says Allah is the light of the heavens and the earth. You see? So now, when we go to Quran.com, for those who are looking, You know, if you're listening, you still should be able to get the gist. It's a Surah 24, Ayat 35 in the Grand Quran, from whence we derive our power and authority. So I'm going to go here. And it's very important that we understand this here. Because remember, we are being told that John drew a veil about his phone. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to go to Ayat, like I say, 35. I normally quote 34 and 35. Or some Qurans, depending on the way the Ayat ranges, like 35 and 36. Okay, 6 your phone. Can you hear me, brother? Brother Marvin Edwards Bay, is something wrong?
Islam, Islam. I was wondering where you want to show something on the screen besides the dictionary.
Yeah, I'm trying to find it. Then I'm gonna switch screens.
Gratitude, find the Bible.
Yeah, it's all right. Just trying to pull it up real quick here. Okay, there it go right there. Okay, so let me okay, let me go here now and stop sharing and reshare, and I'm gonna just share the whole screen. That way I have it up here. Okay. Let's see, share the screen again. Okay, we're gonna do entire screen this time. Maybe put a little sign on here just in case I want to use that too. And reshare it. Okay, so we navigate up through here. All right, can you see it now, Brother Marvin Edwards Bay?
Islam, gratitude.
Yes, sir. Gratitude, Islam. All right. So yeah. So basically, family, you know, this particular verse is one of my favorite verses. You know, I often like to quote this particular drawing, you know, and like I say, it deals with, you know, the aspect of Allah is the light of the heavens and the earth. You see? And so a lot of time when they look at this demonstration and we think of hijab, if you're looking at the screen now, you see this sister got on the hijab wrapping her head up. You see what I'm saying? So once we understand, you know, the grand drawing of this measure, like it talks here, it says, tell the believing men to lower their gaze and be modest. They say that is pure for them. Lower Allah's will of what all they do, and tell the believing women to lower their gaze and be modest in display of their adornment, only that which is apparent, and to draw their veils over their bosoms, and not to reveal their adornment save their own husbands or fathers, you know, and sons and so forth. It just goes on to tell you, you know, that they are covering themselves out of chastity, right? So John, in this special case, you know, he's not wearing this type of veil here. You see what I'm saying? He's not wearing this type of veil over his form. You know, the veil has to do more with going into a high state of vibration, you know, and he is veiling himself really in all actuality, you know, with light, you know, light, you know, because some people become blinded by the light. You see, if they have carnal intent, people with carnal intent can't comprehend the light. Remember, the light that dwelleth in darkness, but darkness comprehended it not. Right there in front of you, but you can't see it. Right there on the manifest, but you can't grasp it. you can't obtain it. You see? Man, that's something else. You see? Al Azab, also Surah 33, when they go into that special drawing, this concept of what we would call, hijab being used only 2 times now in the Grand Quran. Surah 24 and 33. Trying to find that. Okay. There we go. I'm trying to find it right here for you so you can see it. Yep. So the main thing, family, is that we, like I said, we have to cover ourselves in the truth, the light. That's what we're getting at. You see? Once we are able to cover ourselves in the light, then we can move beyond the falsehood, so to speak. We can move beyond, the opposition, the conflict, the harm that one would seek to bring to us, so to speak. In other words, the pure we are, the greater we are, in expressing exactly who we are as far as being who we are, it wards off the conflict. Not saying conflict, people won't try to bring it your way, but I mean, you can't touch what you can't see, right? So the more that we in light, the more those who have a dark mind or dark heart, can comprehend that not. You see? They can't comprehend it because you vibrating on a level that's beyond that in which carnal eyes can even bear witness to, or carnal ears can even comprehend. You see? And so this is what the Harbinger was able to do. And sometimes we have to do this when we are trying to accomplish the works of going within the self. That's the nature of the hermit. You see? The nature of a hermit is that of an ascetic as well. Or some people call them wayfarers. Some people call them Sufis or mystics, or whatever you want to call it. But they draw the veil of light about themselves. And once they are able to do this, then they are able to go, or rather come into the deeper realization of who they are, or the works that they were called to do. You see? So if we go back over here again, we can see, how this demonstration is brought forth. You want to shut out all the noise. You want to shut out everything that is in opposition to divinity. You want to shut out anything that comes into conflict with you being one with your God. And in fact, that's the whole drawing when it came to dealing with John himself. He wouldn't have been able to know that the king was on the manifest, had he been caught up into what it was that his limited eyes could see or his limited ears can hear. He wouldn't have known this. And that's why it was necessary for him to meditate. They say he even changed his diet. The way that he was eating. He wasn't eating, the common things, that the average man ate. he was eating nuts basically and honey. Sound like some cereal, but in all actuality, we ain't talking about that is special processed stuff that they had at garbage they give you. But some like almost like a you know how they make the different nut bars and so forth and so on. This is what he was eating. This is what he was putting in the body. That's the deal with the physical body, the deal with the form. But when you go into the essence of the self, what about the spiritual food that he was, eating? What about the spiritual things that he was placing within his body? Let that marinate a bit when it comes to dealing with the thoughts. That's a powerful demonstration in and of itself. You see? So we have spiritual food that we eat. And it's almost basically like giving you the principles of what it means, when we talk about fasting. And we can fast from many things, abstain from many things, you see? And in the process of abstaining from these things, this is where we become strong. This is where we become stronger. So if we understand what it means to become strong as a result of our abstinence, so to speak, or even exile, like even Muhammad ibn Abdullah, the prophet, on the manifest, he had to go into exile and then come out of that, and come out pretty much with what it was that he had been given. That's why they use the term he was wrapped in a mantle until the time appointed. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, he was wrapped in a mantle. That's a powerful demonstration. So if we understand even that aspect right there, that's still a powerful measure when, and this is, they use that term wrapped in a mantle, basically too, because he was covered up after being in a state of fear, as a result of the revelation that he was being given. He was basically like, cover me, cover me. I done went mad. This is crazy right here. I'm going through it, y'all. That's where he was at the particular time. So yeah, it's a lot of information based upon that. But one has to literally shut out the world, and shut everything out in order to come out, just as they are destined to come out, so to speak. You see? So I just want to encourage our family, that it's time for us to draw the veil about our form, the physical form, and go into the spiritual self, and make preparation for the coming of the king. We already know the prophet working from the plane of soul, but the king, also manifests, through us, as I stated before. He manifests through his grand body, and purity was mentioned in our 7 acts. This is the reason why it was mentioned. You see? Like I say, only the pure in heart can recognize their king. So we have to draw the veil about ourselves and be able to see in the spirit realm, as men look at things in the physical realm. If you ever seen the movie Lord of the Rings, and you seen that little one Frodo who had the ring, often when he would put the ring on his finger, he was really drawing a veil about himself, so to speak. And he can be seen, by the owner of the ring, so to speak, but everybody else couldn't see him per se. One had drawn a veil about their form, and it's the same thing. Like I said, I like to use examples to give our people a graphic insight as to what, it truly means to demonstrate certain measures, because we have the ability to cover ourselves. This is a form of protection, of divinity that we need right now in this new era and time in order to keep evolving and growing, because the way that things are designed now, they are bound to distract. They were orchestrated for the purpose of keeping us away from our purpose. You see? And so this is why John did what he did, because he wasn't going to let nobody stop him from demonstrating what it was that he knew he was born to do. Exercising his will in the cause of the great God Allah. To prepare or pave the way, so to speak, for his brother man that he knew was coming behind him. Yeah, in the Piscean record, he said that he was one that baptized with water, but the one coming behind him gonna baptize with fire. He was telling you he knew the cleansing right, but it's two cleansing rights. Fire is synonymous with wisdom. It takes fire to beat a blade into its proper mold or form or shape. It takes some heat, some real heat, to shape and mold a scimitar, the convex, that curved blade, so to speak. And that's a symbol, or rather, it is symbolic to consciousness. You see? Make no mistake about it. Divine consciousness. You see? So that's what we are encouraging our family, to be on the manifest and do what it is that has already been done, by a holy prophet, what has already been done by Yahushua over 2,000 years ago, our prophet, when he was Yahushua. We are here to demonstrate the possibilities of what man can do. So that's a grand drawing. If we have this concept, we are thrice blessed in our mindset. You see, all of us have gifts of the understanding that have come from the treasures of the great God Allah. Now, what we do with those gifts are on us. The purpose, we got to protect the purpose. You see, in order to sustain and protect yourself, again, you got to draw a veil about your form. And the only way that you can really do that is by becoming as illuminated in your consciousness as possible. You see? And once you are able to illuminate yourself, by the time you get ready to lift the veil, the people will be ready. The people will be ready. So, again, remember, he drew a veil about his form, and men could see him not. So what are the ways that you would be able to draw a veil about your form? When it comes to removing yourself from the eyes of corner men, because we know corner men want not the light now. If you go all the way into the light, some people say, well, the light, it blind people, and so forth and so on. Is that always a bad thing? Because like I say, people can't touch harm what they can't see. You see? So that includes anything when it comes to dealing with your divinity, when it comes to dealing with your thought pattern, when it comes to dealing with, your ability of talent, so to speak. You see? Yeah. Because that's what these were. These were divine talents that were being demonstrated by these prophets. And they were often hated for the work that they done. They were often, opposed, received a lot of opposition from the same people that they were trying to deliver. And so it is the same with our people. Look, go back to dealing with our holy prophet Noble Drew Ali. A lot of people, oh, he died. No, he said he can better, defeat the enemy from the plane of soul. So he drawed a veil about himself, even in that aspect. That's all it is. When you drop the guard, what we call death is really another form of, really drawing a veil about ourselves to do the work from the plane of soul. Because our work doesn't end here. You see, so if we do that on a macrocosmic level, then how much, similar is that then on the microcosmic level? That's a question that we ask ourselves. Why is it necessary? Why is it necessary, to demonstrate like this? You see? Well, first you got to know what we call spirit clothed with soul made in the form of Allah. If that ain't a veil, I don't know what it is. The guard, spirit clothed with soul made in the form of Allah. That means Allah in there somewhere, right? Remember, it was Allah who breathed his ruh into the soul, where the soul actions are, shall I say, veil, thinking, willing, reason, understanding, remembrance. In other words, right thinking, willing, reasoning, understanding, and remembrance. That's a veil of truth. Yeah. Make no mistake about it. We own to something. You see? So now that we know, then what is there that we should do? We should act upon what it is that we know. So the action has to follow, what it is that we discover, or the knowledge that we come into. And this is what we call Moorish science. Because there's a power that exerts itself for the individual at the will of the user. See? It's in you. It's part and parcel of you. And that's the thing in this Western thought pattern, our demarcated thought pattern, we've been taught, to move in opposition to our own selves, to our own self-interests. We've been taught this now. And many of our people have accepted that. And so that's why they have left themselves open, for attacks on all levels, psychologically, mentally, physically. Man, it's terrible, but it's the truth. Now, once we are able to demonstrate that, that's where we come into a clarity of mind. And once you have a clarity of mind, then you can better carry out, again, your mission. Many of us, we seen a lot of people that have passed form and they never grew into their purpose. Or if their purpose did come to them, they ignored it. And once you receive the truth at the level that we at, you can't ignore this. It's just too graphic. It's just too plain. Unless you just gonna try to force yourself to shed it out, and that ain't the right way to demonstrate it from that aspect. Not when we talk about the veil. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, we got a lot of work to do, family. This Rome has really um, corrupted, the mental Rolodex, as our brother Bati Bey would call it, of our people. And we can only think of what it is that has been given to us by Rome. Most of our people are thinking, on a programmed thought pattern. And that programmed thought pattern has been what has led to the demise of everything it is that we have sought to establish our people. Sometimes knowingly, sometimes unknowingly. Because some of our people will sacrifice, their people in order to get a little illusionary piece of America's apple pie. Whatever that is, But that's a whole nother measure in and of itself, family. So what is it that we can do to protect ourselves? You got to draw the veil of light about yourself, family. You see? And we're going to expel that darkness. We will become what they call the torchlight of freedom. Remember, lit is such a light in houses in which Allah himself, lit is such a light in houses which Allah himself has permitted to be, built, established, so to speak. And that's why we have to become a temple of perfected man, brothers. You have to become a temple of perfected woman, sisters. A lighthouse for our people, in dark times. And boy, are we in some dark times right now, huh? I know many of us agree with that, right? Yeah, many of our people can agree with that. Minus doubt of contradiction. So, yeah, I just want to encourage our family to take the high road, stay on high in divinity, purify the heart and mind, and meditate, because these lessons are our only salvation. The lessons that we are demonstrating right now. If not us demonstrating them, then who? There is no one coming to save us. Even our brother Yehoshua, he wasn't coming to save the Israelites per se in the way that we think he was. He was coming to show them the way, therefore that they may become, what it was that he was. And again, that dealing with coming into their purpose and understanding the possibilities of man. So now that we are here, it's our turn. It's time to draw the veil of light about our form so that the people of light that seek the light can see it. This ain't no spookism, family. And anybody tell you that they don't believe in the teachings or the philosophy, so to speak, of our ancestors, because all of them believed and they was able to bring what it was they believed into fruition. That's a fact. So if our people don't know that, I don't know where they be. So what I'm gonna do, because I just wanted to give this measure from a simplistic standpoint, and hopefully our people was able to grasp it. But I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna open up the floor so that we can hear about our family, and how it is that they have been able to draw the veil of light about themselves, and recognize their purpose. A barrier between you and man, but no barrier between you and your Lord, the Most High. Because there's a deific title. So star 6 your phone moves, and come forth and exercise your 5. Let the world know you're alive. Islam. Can you hear me?
Islam.
Uh-oh. Okay. All right, Sister Curta Bay, you want to come forth?
Yes, I go ahead on and come forth. I come through. I'm coming through on the call.
That's okay.
I'm not on the panel.
Islam.
Of gratitude.
Gratitude.
Islam, family. I am Dr. Denja Leah Curta Bay. First, let me rise and give praises to a great God Allah. Give honors to our holy prophet, Noble Drew Ali. Give honors to Act One. I give honors to all my government officials. I give honors to Assistant Grand Chief for this wonderful most perspective class tonight. Islam. And your title was coming from part of the ayat 17. It says, but he drew a veil about his form, and men could see him not. And raise our vibration up to a point like what you said. The enemy can't see you, and but what stood out to me too in the chapter, it talked about the pure in heart, and see, nothing but the pure in heart can start doing these things. See, you just can't just willy nilly and think you're gonna be able to do these things that the great God, the prophet teaches us, and just do them, and just scantily getting the teaching, scantily getting on your calls, scantily doing your studies and stuff. And see, when you know who you are, and like you said, you talked about the vibrations, and that was so powerful too. How we raise our vibrations up, and I've been thinking about and working on something to that nature. Also, the prophets say we are in a new era time now. In other words, and he talks about how, especially when we do in our Goddess and Queen class, he say his supreme law is coming down now, and it's so powerful, and it's wonderful too to see him sending us his supreme laws, teaching us his supreme laws, and teaching us how to vibrate, get ourselves on that higher vibration. And it also made me think about God, man, when he said he was going to take us up on up in the apparatus. In other words, he ain't talking about some physical thing that you get in, and I know some people believe that there is a big spaceship coming to raise us up. But I don't think the prophet is talking about some big spaceship. I think he's talking about raising our vibrations up, raising our vibrations up, and with our thoughts, because we are always taught that everything begins with a thought. And see, once we start raising our vibrations up and getting it up to that higher vibration, things will begin to change. I tell you, God, man, this is such a powerful class that, because I like I said, I've been studying and digging into this about the vibrations and the thoughts. And what I'm learning too is once we start causing our vibrations to raise to that higher level, you begin to change. Your surroundings change. Your surrounding change. But and you was asking, how do we ourselves put a veil around ourselves? And I know, for me, we have to, the way we put a veil around ourselves is basically staying in these teachings, being around like-minded people. I hate to say it, but you don't want to be around, unless you are vibrating on that higher level. You need to be around people who gonna build you up. You don't need to be around a whole lot of negativity, because if you ain't careful, if you ain't vibrating on that high level, they'll pull you down into their negative thoughts and negative being, and have you pulled down to, down to that old lower self. But what you have to do is learn to vibrate and learn to block, a lot of that negativity, because we're God. And I'm learning that because we are God, we create our own destiny. We create our own reality. And then, we have to govern that reality. And so, this is just a powerful class, God, man. Just listening to it, like I say, I always wondered, how did John do that? Did he put a veil, like you explained about the veil? But like you said, it wasn't the veil like the goddess was wrapping around herself. John's vibration was raised up. He was vibrating on another level, and that's what we got to do, especially in these days and times now. Family, we got to start doing the things to get our vibrations up on that high level, because if you don't, you might not be able to withstand what's getting ready to come. So gratitude, God, man, for letting me share. Gratitude for this wonderful, powerful class.
Islam. And I just want to make sure, can anybody on our panel hear us coming through the panel?
Yeah, I can.
I want to make sure the sound right. I see our family.
Yes, sir.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure I see.
Yeah, I'm on the conference call right now. Yeah.
Okay, but yeah, you could hear us on the YouTube too, right?
Damn. Oh, excuse me.
Well, I'm not on the YouTube. I usually be on all of the platforms we have, but I can't get hectic.
Okay, Islam. I just wanted to make sure, because our family had said they couldn't hear us earlier. Wasn't no sound. I just wanted to make sure. So Islamism without the schism. Praise be to Allah. So yeah, family, we give honors to our sister Curta Bay for what it is that she just stated. And yeah, it's a powerful droid. And that apparatus, they have a droid in the science of Merkaba. And I always break the term down. If you look at it, mir, M-E-R, it means love. You know, and we know Ka and Ba represents the soul. So our prophet taking us up in Merkaba, or the apparatus, if we want to look at it like that, you know, has a result that is demonstrated as a result of the love. That's why I say keep your hearts and minds pure with love. You see? Because he can reach you to bring you up. That's why I say we're going to take the more up above the sun, moon, and stars around the almighty throne of Allah. You know, and if we understand, you know, within the self, the seven centers, then we know that the sun and moon chakra is right above the solar plexus. So if you go all the way beyond that and you go be above the neck, then where else would you be? You see, the chamber of your mind. You know, but all of this is synonymous with the concept of Merkaba, which is called the chariot. That's the real apparatus. You see, but that's a whole nother mention. So, yeah, we just wanted to give our goddess and queen some support in her thought. So, all right. Is there any other more who would like to come forth and exercise their fire? How you drawing a veil about yourself to protect your mission and your purpose? Islam.
Okay, bro.
Islam, brother.
Islam. This is Dr. Bati Bey with the Iowa Territory. First, I'd like to rise and give our man the praise to Allah. Honors to the Prophet. Honors to our three current government, our Royal Council, our flag, seal, emblem, our divine constitution, our angels, multi citizens alike. Honors to all the Moors that are here in attendance and sound of my voice. Honors to you for this class. And, you know, this is something that when we talk about putting a veil, a lot of times, you know, a lot of us don't know how powerful your energy field is. And it's like they say it goes out, your energy field goes out 6 feet. But and at times, and that's only if you're on in your regular vibrational. If you know what I'm saying, you ain't did no you ain't put in no work. You know, enhancing that, the biosphere. And Freddie Macabre. And I don't like the only reason why I don't like using Macabre in a sense is because not everybody's Macabre is activated. To activate Macabre is a whole different process, but to act your biosphere or that veil is always with you. And it's either, you know, turned up or it's turned down. And you have the ability to turn it up or turn it down. How you know this to be true, go in, you can feel the energy when you go into a room and you're not welcome. You can feel the energy when you go into a room and you're welcome. People can feel their energy when you walk into a room and everybody you see people turning around to look. That's because they recognize your energy, not because they actually see you. Most people have their backs to you, and once they turn around and see you, that's a way to tell that you're vibrating high. They say bees in your vicinity to tell whether you're vibrating high. And so to draw a veil about yourself is to also know that you're gone. And in some aspects of just bringing, you can raise your vibration, you can lower your vibration. A lot of times I will lower my vibrations when I got a friend whose son is autistic. And so a lot of times when I'm around him, I will lower my vibrations so that he doesn't feel anxious because they speak in vibrations. That's how they're more in tune with vibrations than the average person is. So they can feel anger. They can feel the vibration of anger. They can feel the vibration of gratitude. They can feel the vibration of love. You know, they can feel the when you're feeling like in the mode of reciprocity. They can feel that, and they can also feel when it's not there. You know what I'm saying? And so a lot of times when I'm around them, I would calm. I'm not even say lower. I will calm my energy down. You know what I'm saying? In other situations, I will, enhance my energy. And a lot of times it's just remember that I walk with 1,000 ancestors with me at all times. You know what I'm saying? And that energy field of, you know what I'm saying, your forefathers and foremothers coming through you. So when you're saying to veil yourself in the light is you say love, I will also say gratitude. Veil yourself with gratitude. Because a lot of times, even if somebody is not feeling in the mode of gratitude, your gratitude, your gratuity, that energy that you're giving off enhances, that sphere for everybody else. And people can feel, people really, when they're home, everything we say is something that we don't really recognize. So when we say, do you feel it? So when you say, do you feel it, that's an energy that really is giving off. You know what I'm saying? And to feel somebody before you say something is, that veil, or to either veil, you can either veil either way. Put that higher veil on you, or put a veil where they're unable to pick up on your energy. You know what I'm saying? And that is, when you talk about putting that veil, it's just remembering that gratitude, being gracious of all the things that are given, being mindful of all the things that are given. You know what I'm saying? Because you didn't have to receive it. You could have, you know what I'm saying? Like it said many times before, you say all the time, we could have been born at any point in time in history. But this is the time we were born. And there's a reason why we were all born at this. We came and manifested in this area of time now. So our energy, and plus our energy is what moves the universe. That's why they say when two or more people get together and they focus on something, it manifests quicker. And we don't always necessarily have to be in the present. We just have to be in the same mind frame. And the children had videos on utilizing the energy field in order to travel. Well, you can utilize the energy field for an outcome. But everybody has to have that gratuity, and not just that gratuity, sincerity. You can say that, hey, I want to see the Moors rise, and you're like, I don't really think this, and this. You have that attitude in the undertone, and that will cause distraction on that. No, you want the Moors to rise, because as we rise, you know what I'm saying, all things rise, all life form rises. We are the first. So every time that we put our energy into something that will enhance the quality of life, it allows the universal ethos to raise. You know what I'm saying? And you got to remember that we can more ourselves into a vibration, meaning that you can anchor yourself into it. They got a meditation, it's called the Great Seal. You raise your vibrations. You can seal your vibration. Once you work the essence of your kundalini into your pituitary gland and your pineal, you will be able to put a grand seal on it where it won't go. It won't go back down. You know what I'm saying? And that's just a part of the meditation process that one's got to learn. That and that's putting the veil on there. You know what I'm saying? And that's staying in the high, keeping it above the neck. There's a lot to what you're saying, and you know what I'm saying? It's not as it's you expressed it simply, but that is a grand measure with what you brought, because there's a lot to that. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot to that, because it's plugged into things that we don't really, I don't think we really take into consideration at all times. We gotta leave it a common piece as well.
And Islamism without the schism, And that's what we call assuming the form of God. But also, we give honors to you, brother. I was watching the life story of Bruce Lee. I'm still actually watching it. And I seen he had a lot of challenges, from individuals, because he said that he was a master at what he did. And a lot of people don't know, um, in his journey of martial arts, is something else. He basically ended up warring a lot of his adversaries under his sway, to the extent where some of them even would bow down before him. And he didn't like that. He'll tell them, get up, and they wouldn't get up, but, these were people that were his real arch enemies, so to speak, that he brought, he made them friends, so to speak. And his goal in everything it was that he learned was not to be disrespectful toward traditions, but he understood how rigid people were in their traditions of martial arts and thinking theirs was the best. And they would often get in fights over that. He would too when he was young, until he learned, and then he came up with his own universal form of the art, and he would literally go out to test. That's how he became as good as he was, because he wasn't just doing what he did. He was like a scientist when it came to it. He would go out and like literally test this art form or these other different people that was, in these different schools. He learned boxing. He learned grappling. He already come through the Wing Chun school, so to speak, on the Yip Man. But he learned a whole lot, and he brought it and he universalized it and made it. And then he created his own forms of stuff that actually didn't exist per se, and he enhanced what it was that he knew. And that's what his art form was. And he whooped a lot of people up, so to speak, that would challenge him. And some people that rivaled him from a long time. There was one battle, where they say the one had a blindfold on. They put a blindfold over his eyes, and both of them fought. And they asked him, well, why are they doing that? Because they said only a true master of martial arts will be able to demonstrate this. Because when they put this over their eye, they can't see anything. They have to go off their other senses. The sense of the person, in certain aspects, in order to know that their opponent, them being opponents to each other, are present. And that was a grand draw in and of itself. And it was like nobody would know how to do that but real masters, to draw a veil about their eyes, basically, and go at it. You know what I mean? And be able to block, be able to intercept, and so forth and so on. Because a lot of the concepts are cheap. That's another thing, is being able to use the momentum, that may be looked at as being an opposite to you. That can be physically, or even when it comes to dealing with the spirit realm. You're able to channel them situations. It's really alchemy. That's exactly what it is. You know how to take a base situation. The wise is able to find means of good, out of the worst situation, so to speak. So that's a powerful demonstration. But truly drawing the veil about oneself, is really assuming the form, the God form. Spirit clothing with soul made in the form of Allah. Allah is what? The light of the heavens and the earth. What are the heavens? The heavens would represent the upper extremities, where the true chamber, the adept chamber is. And the earth represents the body itself. You see, but heaven transcends the physical senses. You know, and the line uniting divinity and matter really represent the actions of the soul that have to do with thinking, will, and reason, you know, understanding, remembrance, and so forth and so on. You know, when they are aligned or in line with the divine, love divine, you see? So, yeah, that's a powerful measure. All right. Is there any other more who would like to come forth and exercise day 5? Islam?
Dr. Larry Daniels, right?
Yes, sir. We hear you, grand man.
First I rise to give praise and glory to Allah, the most merciful. And I give high honor to this holy and divine prophet, El Hajj Sharif Abdul Aziz, the last prophet in these days of time. And I give honors to Act 1 of our divine constitution. And I honor you, brothers, open up the way for us, for all those that open up the way. And I honor all my brothers and sisters alive. Peace and blessing, peace and love. Each would fail around his form, and man could not see him. Brother, this is amazing that you this class, because like the other brother just speaking said, it is. Because, you know, I woke up before I got out of bed this morning, I was meditating, you know, before I even opened my eyes, I was thinking about the light that I see on the leaves, you know, the sunlight, that energy that vibrates, that bounces off the plants and the leaves and stuff, because I be outside a lot. And I was saying that I want to be a light that the whole world can see, that, you know, so, you know, they can be drawn to what the prophet said, because I'm always contemplating, thinking about the prophet and what I can do, you know, to better myself and help those around me. And today Saturday, and basically all I did today was some free work for my people. So, and then, you know, I was, you know, even when you vibrate in sadness or something like that, you know, when you have something heavy on your mind, you know, when at myself, I even see my dog. I say, why you not wagging your tail, buddy? I say, oh, I see you feel me. You know, I know he can feel me. Certain things that I think about and go through, I can see my dog. He don't be all jumpy and happy like he is. He feels like something ain't right with me. So I said, yeah, okay. So I kind of figured that out. And I was thinking about, I got so much stuff written down here, and I was thinking about, okay, hold up. I was saying to myself that there can be no light without darkness, and I was saying that hold on, because there's so much. Hold up. Oh yeah, I was thinking about my soul, because a lot of times I misplace something, and then I say soul, and then I say no. Me, I'm talking to myself, because I am the soul. So it seems like I activated, you know, my own powers, because when I turn anything over to me, sometimes I say turn it over to my soul, but my soul is me. I'm the one that reasons, thinking, and reasoning all that right there. There's nothing outside of me. It's me. So sometimes, you know, I think about it and I think outside, but then I put it back in. I say, it's me. And then whatever is going on, you know, I find it. Even when I was working on some things, and I turn it over to me, you know, and see, like, because I know that my soul is already there with my higher self, where my higher self is, because once I heard about this lady who said that, okay, this master told this sister, say, look, meditate on, because she was karate, you know, boxing, all that, but he said, meditate, sit down, and go to yourself and meditate yourself all the way through it. Let your higher self, he explained to her higher self already there. So when she did that, and when she came up out of meditation, when she got into the ring, she felt like one of the like she had these boots all her life that she, and she won so easily because she had already saw herself through it. You see, and sometimes I tell my friends when we doing things and they feel they get that fear in them, and I say, you know what? I don't fear anything because I know that anything that's coming towards me, and if it's vibrating at a low vibration, they can't even see me because I'm vibrating too high for them. You see, I can walk right past evil. Evil don't bother me because, and I don't walk in fear because of my high vibrations and how I think. I don't think nobody want to hurt me. Nobody gonna hurt me, no matter where I go. And when I was some years ago, I used to be all in the cracks and crevices, but I was studying. I wasn't doing nothing wrong, but I was teaching at the same time. And then I always run to somebody and say, yeah, I know you used to be with my dad, blah, blah, blah. You know what I'm saying? But I know no matter where I'm at, you know what I'm saying, I'm vibrating on a high level, and there's different vibrating things. And I understand that the flesh is not me, but it's part of my aura, but it's just vibrating a little lower than I am. That one you hear, that one that speaks intelligence, and all these things right here. So this, and okay, yeah, this class is amazing. Hold up, okay. Okay, okay. Okay. Hold up. I'm sorry. Okay. Yeah. So when I understand, so when I put together what you was just saying, and all your lessons to us, I'm saying, yeah, I'm ready for that. You know what I'm saying? Because I can see it, and the way I woke up this morning, and I was thinking about that, and as far as the light and the vibrations and all this right here, and I was saying to myself that when a man, oh, here it is. I was saying that, okay, once you change and you vibrate on that level, people do see you, but they don't really think that's you because you're not the same one. You know what I'm saying? You look kind of different, but they have to walk all the way up to you and touch you and say, what's up? Well, I thought that was you. You know what I'm saying? Because it's something about you just not the same. Once you have applied this love that the prophet has given you to yourself, and then there's nobody outside of you that you hate no more. Nobody outside of you that you got to fear no more, because you have that faith. There's something different about you. That it's that faith and fruition that you have become that message. You know what I'm saying? As best you can, because all of us are going, especially if we really sincere about these calls and the love that our prophet gave us. We're there. You see? It's not that we're not gonna keep raising and keep learning, but we're that veil. You see? That veil, because man sees, but and then again, he don't see. If he's not vibrating at the right time, he sees, but he don't really understand until you speak to him. But it's so much, but that's what I want to say. But I let my other boys get in. Great class, peace and blessings.
In grand measure, brother Larry Daniels, baby, we give honors to you. Yeah, I hear a lot of our Moorish kin talking about the feeling, and yeah, that's a grand drawing when it comes to dealing with that veil. Like we say, one's learn how to vibrate, from an astral standpoint. In fact, when we go into the aspect of the concept of assuming, the God form, this is where, the adept demonstrates a technique, where they work with the energies of, the deity by assuming his form. In this arch type of image, of the deity is created in the astral by focused visualization, vibration of the deity's name, and then tracing of its sigil or a sign, and you do all this with the mind. And then the adept steps into this astral image and wears it like a garment or a mask. You see, continue to strengthen this image with focused concentration. You see, and this is performed to create the vehicle, that Merkaba, right? That chariot for that particular aspect of the divine that the adept is working with. See, the adept imitate but does not channel or identify, his or herself with deity. Although the adept may receive communication, through the silence, in one's retreat as a hermit. In this process, is where one is able to identify themselves through deific will, you see, instead of getting caught up in the realm of the ego, so that's a grand drawing. Gratitude. All right, is there any other mo who would like to come forward? Islam, Brother Justice. Islam.
Praise Allah. Honor to our holy prophet, no draw in. Honor to you, Master Assistant Grand Chief Dr. Saeed, served as a great class tonight. And honor to all of those who assist you in the class. And honor to the entire Act One. As always, special honor to our National Grand Chief and our National Grand Chairman, Morris America, are empowered to make law and enforce law with the system of the prophet and the Grand Body of Morris America. Honor to our host and our National Assistant Grand Chief, of the Assistant Grand Chief is to assist Grand Chief in all affairs if he lives according to love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, and is known before the citizen of Morris America. Well, the prophet did say, I brought you everything, take to save the nation, I take it and save it ourselves. He said, if I get you to thinking, you save yourself. So, you're talking about the vibration. I know that to be very true and divine. I didn't know what it was. I've been experiencing a lot of different things through my life, and I didn't really know it had to do with the vibration of when you're able to see things in your travels. A quick story, I was about, I think it was like 9 years old, and I saw my neighbor across the street. In my travels, before when night was falling, as they like to say, night was it was getting in later evenings. I walked over and I asked Miss Coop. I said, is Mr. Robert okay? And she told me, she said, this won't take long to get right on to work. She said, yes, he's fine. Why? I said, well, if you don't mind, will you mind standing on the front porch with me for a little while and let me talk with you? And she told me, she said, boy, go home. So I went home and anyway, went on the bed, and this time I went on the bed, and in my travels, that was, we used to call them dreams. Mr. Robert ran in the room and he was dragging, he was beating her, and then he was cutting her. This is what I wanted her to, that's why I wanted to stay on the front porch with me until a little bit later in the night like they used to. And so anyway, I woke up and I jumped up and I ran from the middle room to the front room. I stayed in a shotgun house, and I always thought my mother died. That was died in Jake, their stepfather. And I said, oh my gracious. I said, oh, this was in my dream, y'all. And my mother turned and she slapped me so hard. And so, I've been dealing with these different vibrations all my life. And a lot of things I see before it happen, and when I show up around certain people, I have a tendency of drawing people to me. And I'm going to be honest with you about something. I try to have this not negative attitude, but I try not to let these things take place because, believe it or not, I really there was many people who disliked me, but when people got to know me, then they kind of, want to get closer to me. So I stayed out of the way by staying home a little more, less exercise. And, when things are being occurred, about to take place on earth or what have you, and I have a witness in the government. I have a couple witnesses in the government. I would call and speak to them. And because I guess this is sometimes relieving the tension and stress on me. I called one brother when, I listened to the chairman. When I be listening to the chairman, I listen very closely to the chairman, and I read between the lines, and that's trust me, that is the truth. I don't mess around and play around when it comes to my holy prophet, no true, who truly will bless me. When the chairman speaks, there's so much there. And I called this brother, and I was telling him, I asked him, I said, did you listen to what the chairman was saying? This is about 2.5 years before the pandemic hit us, and it was already there. And so we talked for about 3-4 hours, and we were talking more. Sometimes we'd be up at like 1 o'clock in the morning talking. And he asked me, he said, are you sure? I said, I am. And I'm not ashamed to say it, and I was using tears. And I would call back and didn't get into a lot of conversation with the chairman, but after the chairman, I said, it's a lot going on and a lot coming. So I didn't get into all the details and all, but I called one brother back. I was speaking to the chairman. We talked for about another 3 or 4 hours, and I told him, I said, listen, I said, I don't know what to do. And he asked me, what are you talking about, Justice? And I said, what we've been talking about? He said, yes. I said, but I've learned that you can't run and tell people what's going to happen to them. And let me back up and just say this to you about how the vibration with me, because there's a lot be going on with me. And for people hard to believe in my travels, I see a lot. And I try to be in the place I need to be. They still aid and assist our brothers and sisters in attending my classes. I saw this young sister who ran around me, and I used to live in Randolph on the base property. And she would grab me by my right hand, and she looked up at me, and she told me, she said, about time for me to go, Mr. Justice. I said, you get ready to go home? Because she was at her grandmother's house, and I got to know her grandmother through a cold night when they let me in, because I had locked myself out the door and Reggie all was gone, because I got to know that family. And I saw this sister was going to pass form. And she grabbed my hand, she kept spinning around with it. And then she looked at me and she said, you see it too, huh? And she said, I thought, and I said, yes. And she said, I thought you did. And I just told her, I said, I want you to just go and pray. Just pray about it. So anyway, I called the chairman and told the chairman what I had seen. And he gave me a very good education, a very divine, spiritual, true education about that, and I didn't do it. I learned to listen very close to that thing. Anyway, I shook a lot, sitting up praying, shook, and just like it was, her father, she got up Monday morning for school, and she said, and I could see it. I was laying down resting, and I could see it. She got up, she told her father that she had a headache. And her father told her, just get in the back seat and get your nap in by the time I get to school. We got to the school. That's what I see. I did not go to that family to say anything out to her. I listened to my chairman, and she was gone. She had passed home. She made a transition. And there was 2 other neighbors that I had seen, and I was tired. And I remember what my chairman had been teaching me the National Grand Sheet, because I wasn't talking to too many people. So I called the brother back and was talking to the brother. And I told him, I said, now listen, man, we could lose millions and millions of people. And I just wanted somebody to talk to, because, I just wanted to talk. And so he asked me, was I sure? And I said, yes. He said, how you know? I told him, I said, and I won't be long, brother. I said, I see it in my travel. And we got all this water coming too. In the midst of all of this, I didn't want to be in the government having this, being blessed and being in the government. And I didn't want to become saying crazy to the citizen in the government. So I was share thing with this brother, what I see. And when things started, we talked a lot. We talked a lot. And I made one error running around in the neighborhood on the base of very large property, keeping seasoned citizens from coming out doors, moving and moving. I wound up catching cold, but although I knew I was going to catch it, I am told the brother. He attended the government regular, and he always attended the classes. I didn't know what else to do. But we just pray. When I did get sick, I saw myself get sick, and I know me and Rachel were going to get sick. And I felt like I was a little hard-headed. So what I did was, again, I called my chairman. Chairman told me to call Dr. Judy. I did that, and I said, and I asked myself, how long is this going to take on lasting? I've been doing my work. I'll be faithful. Why is it that I see so many of these different things taking place? And so, as I got a little better, I called the brother again, and I told him, I said, I appreciate all the prayers throughout our entire American government, and from all those who just been sincere and faithful. And I gave him a number of how many people here within North American land that'll be passed and forming. And so what I learned out of everything that I see in my life, the travel I have night from night sometimes, I just pray about it. And I pray about it. And I ask the great God of the universe and the Holy Prophet Noble Draw lead to help, because I don't have room for lies. I don't have room for lies, and that's where I shoot. So sometimes I get my Quran, the Book of Ali, I get everything I have. And I pray and I pray. And I see a lot of my relatives, grandmothers and aunts and cousins, and they all come, they all sit. When I'm at home by myself, have a house full of brothers and sisters. Have a house full of people who, at one time, they called themselves, I guess they called themselves an enemy, or I was an enemy to them, or what have you. And I want to share this last one thing with you, son. I'm going to go. Right before my mother passed in 2000, she died in 2023, but in 2015, I was in the front yard, and my mother was getting ready to go up the steps. And I walked over to her because I could see it, and I walked over to her, and we've already called my mother died. I said, Doc, I said, you need to get these three steps to the Jim Walker home to get them torn. I can feel it. I can feel it and I can see it. Right in front of me, I can see it. And I asked her, I said, will you please get these steps? She said, boy, these steps been like this since 1976. Ain't nothing wrong with these steps. I can see her going through the steps. The very next day, my nephew, Devin, ran in there and he said, Uncle Justice. I knew exactly what it was. And I just walked through the kitchen, dining room, living room, and I went down there to help my mother. My mother looked at me and she was hollering with a leg swollen twist. She said, I don't know how you know, baby, but you were right. That she was hurting, dropping tears. This has been going on most all my life. And when I came home to the American government, I got a clear understanding of a lot of things that I'm still learning. I still have the travels. I don't talk much as I used to. I just want to share that tonight here on the call. I don't have room for lies. I don't have any room for lies. Nothing but the truth, because that's what keeps me free. It's the truth. And all the trials and tribulations I go through, I always see. I always have a light for me to be able to see. And that's why I don't worry anymore. My chairman spent a lot of time with me in the early years helping me in headquarters, helping me and getting me through all these different things up, helping me to understand better.
Islam, brother Justice. Can
I'm
you?
gonna do all the praise.
Islam, brother Justice, can you hear me?
No, brother.
Yeah,
I hear you, brother.
yes, sir. Do you know the subject title that we dealing with tonight?
Brother, Son, down with you? No, sir, I don't, because I have some issues sometimes with my ears, especially with the left.
Okay, well, Islam.
Sometimes I had to pick up what was going on in the class, but when you talk about the vibration, this is where I picked up from, when I was able to listen in closely.
Okay, well, Islam, brother, we give honors to you for your drawing. Allah is leading on.
Praise Allah.
Nothing is lost. Islam, Moors, there's a grand drawing, that's mentioned, in a lot of people don't know, when you go into the Piscean records, in the book of Genesis, in the Hebrew language there, star 6 your phone, family. We'll call on you in a second, because we're getting a lot of feedback through your phone. Who is that had a line? Is that you, Justice, with your line on mute? Okay. So, yeah, but basically what I was trying to say is that, they speak, where it says, the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters or the face of the deep. The word that's used there is actually ayin. Ayin is actually an alphabet in Arabic and Hebrew. A-Y-N, sometimes spelled that way or sometimes spelled A-I-N. But in the science of the concept, of what we call Kabbalah, or the Kaaba of Allah, if we go into that aspect, this word ayin means nothing in essence, so to speak, but it is the outermost of 3 negative veils. Then you have what you call Ein Sof. And Ein Sof, is the Hebrew phrase that deals with the limitless. And that's the middle veil of the 3 negative veils. And then you have, last but not least, Ein Sof Ar, which is a Hebrew phrase that deals with the meaning of the limitless light. Ein Sof Ar, the innermost of the 3 negative veils. So basically, as a mastermind or adept, John was able to, draw, that particular measure about his form, which was of the limitless light. And that's what we was talking about. That's what permeated, from his essence. We can say it emanated from his essence, so to speak. So, that's a grand drawing. And that's what we have to be able to do. We have the power to change the ethers, but it take practice. This ain't something that you just can do, on the whim, of horseplay, so to speak, or even cosplay. You have to go through various trials. The trials that we go through, give us the ability to unlock, so to speak, the treasure box. Give us the keys to unlock the treasure box. Yeah, so Islam. But let us call forth, another one of our Moorish kin who would like to exercise their fire. Is there any other Moor who would like to come forth before we get ready to go to our officials? Islam?
Wow.
Islam, grand man.
That's
Gratitude Grand Class, Sister National Grand Chief. This is Sean Washington, M.O. Raw Bayo, from the Michigan Territories. I rise and give all praise to the great God Allah. Give all honors to Noble Dry Leader, last prophet of all times. Give all honors to this theocratic government. Give all honors to the theocratic Moorish government flag. Give all honors to the Book of Fire, the Hadiths, the Book of Ali, 101s, 102s. I give all honors to the Holy Quran. You know, it's a grand class. It's the topic is the veil.
Islam. The topic is coming from Ayat 17, brother. But he drew a veil about his form, and men could see him not.
Okay. Well, you know, I was listening. Like me, when I come out here, I'm dropping my blessings, and I'm doing the work of this prophet. You know, and I know we said we can't play with our prophet, man. And this government, this ain't nothing to play with. And people think it's a joke, but I don't have no fear no more. You know, I come out here, you know, I don't have to look behind my shoulder and, you know, fear of these political forces. I don't have no fear. I can go any place. You know, I don't have to worry about anybody trying to hurt me or harm me. You know, I keep Allah, my prophet out here, you know. Cause we're in a dark, trying times right now, you know, and I don't have to, you know, fear nothing, you know, I don't have to, you know, come out here and fear, you know, and I get up, you know, I got to do this prophet's work, you know, I'm on the front line out here every day, you know, and I keep it moving. You know, I be in a high vibration. You know, I keep I go back to my ancient mothers and fathers. You know, I honor them. You know, I'm out here. I be thinking. Well, you know all the lessons we study in our tools. I be thinking of all that what the prophet had brought us. You know, because the prophet he went across the land. He didn't. He didn't have no fear, you know, when he went over there to Egypt and, you know what I'm saying? He went to a lot of places. You know, he gave us our stuff right back to us, you know, and I know he wasn't worried about nothing, you know, when he went to his travels, you know, so I just keep it moving, you know, drop my blessings down, you know, tell them about the website. You know, and that's it. And I'm gonna keep planting my seeds. You know, staying in this government because the prophet. You know, these people out here think it's a game. You don't want to get the wrath. You know, from this great God Allah. You know, playing with this government. These want to get to the divine constitution. You know, like we said, he dead. You know, the prophet dead. He dead. No, he's still on the manifest. He's still doing the work. You know. No, gratitude, peace and love, peace and love, Islam.
And gratitude and peace and love to you as well, brother. Islamism without the schism. Islam. We got room for one more. And then we're going to call on the officials. Islam? Go ahead, Brother Marvin.
I'm going to cut the other apparatus down. Turn this one up. Islam, God, man, can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
Gratitude. This is Dr. Marvin Evans, State Constitution, Texas Territory. Praise and honor have been given. I would reiterate all praises to the great God of Allah and highest honors for his prophet Noble Drawing, and high honors to our North American government and all of North America. A very powerful class. Honor to you, God, man, for hosting the most powerful, most perspective class. And you went deep into this particular subject here. When we look at the topic being, he drew about a veil. He drew a veil about his form, and man could see him not. And you asked about have we drawn a veil about ourselves, in our driving, so to speak, not verbatim, what you said. And I think about, my life before I got into the government, and my life since I've come into the government, and it just bears witness to the truth. When I first came to the government, the thought came to me that I needed to get these lessons. I needed to elevate my consciousness, regardless to whatever happened. That was my mission. That was, that's what I took for myself. This is how I saw my purpose being fulfilled. If and I say if, just as a reference point, from not knowing to knowing, that if I could study hard enough, long enough, if I could purify my heart, it wasn't an easy task. It's still not an easy task, because I'm faced with temptations all the time, and those temptations actually bear witness to this truth, because when I'm, making great progress, something, will come up into my experience, and I can see it as a test before you even get to me, and sometimes I bypass it. Sometimes I may fall victim, and I say fall victim because we're not victims, we choose to do what we do, but I'm continually going forward, and something I think my progress is thwarted, so to speak, makes it really good. It's hampered to a degree, because every time I don't follow through with what I know I need to do, that impedes my progress. I can get back on the track and all that, but still, I got to, I'm doing this all over again, just as though I have been here before. I can say, well, man, what if I was here before, and now I find myself right back where I was before? It's a powerful thought, so I continue to strive it. And classes like this, remind me, remind me where I am. Remind me where I come from. And remind me where I need to go. So it's encouraging, and it's an aid and assist. I just praise a lot for that. And as far as drawing a veil, like you said, that's why we have to be so enlightened, that people, they can't see you. They see you, but then they don't see you. So I just say praise the Lord for sending us the prophet, because the prophet brought us everything that we need to save ourselves. On an individual, say, microcosmic, as well as in the whole, the microcosm. I was just looking at reading something, and I think it was the lesson that you had the other night, how, and I guess I continue to read in it, about the cosmos, how that's a reflection of who we are. That's us in a reflection. Can you get to that? I was just striving to get to that. Because I look at the moon all the time, and I look at the stars, and I can see how the moon you can see the rotation. Because I'm looking at it every night, and I see how it's in one night, it moved from one side of the earth going over to the other side. You know, I mean, it's powerful, man. These lessons, you know, it enables one with the courage to observe, you know, the courage to perceive, you know what I mean, and the courage to discern. You know what I mean? So we don't fear. I was listening to this record, this brother wrote, brother that wrote this record, Happy. You know, in one of the songs, he say that. Fear. We don't fear because fear is simply false evidence appearing real. I'm saying that brother, he had to be in the government sometime or listen to the teachers, you know. I say, man, this is powerful. But, yeah, we build ourselves because we have these teachings within us. You know what I mean? But we are being taught not to be so hard on our people. You know what I mean? We can see where he at, you know, but we are there. We are able to impart truth, you know, in such ways that they don't even know that it's being imparted. I mean, this is the way I see it because sometimes it could be too overwhelming. You know what I mean? I could say, I know they ain't going to be able to understand it, so I try to find the simplest way to impart something, you know. But praise the Lord for sending us a prophet. Praise the Lord for this Morris American government being on the manifest, being here, a fixture, so to speak. You know, for Moors when they do wake up, somewhere to be, the place to be. Gratitude, God, man, for honesty, for all you do for your Morris American government and the prophet and the great God. Islam and peace.
In Islam and peace, brother, we give honors to you for that drawing. You know, the limitless light, you know, will most definitely illuminate our path, you know, and lead us, so to speak, you know, into putting on that new God. You know, we just say gratitude, Islam, ism without the schism for the divine attitude, you know, expressed tonight from our Moorish kin. And at this time, we're going to start calling on our officials. We'll start first by calling on our Assistant Grand National Secretary of the State, Sister Alseta Moon El. Islam, you there, sister? Well, all right, we know she's about the business of our Father God Allah. Let us call forth our National Grand Mufti, Dr. Khonshu Mark Herube. Islam, you there, Grand Man?
Islam,
Islamism without the schism.
our religion, gratitude. We rise, first and foremost, giving all thanksgiving, adoration, worship, and praise to the only one worthy of those things, the great God of the universe, our Father God, Allah. And we give the highest honors that we can give to his prophet. Our prophet, the last prophet in these days and in these times, Prophet Noble Drew Ali, Elham Sheikh Sharif Abdul Ali, the savior of humanity. We give honor to his forerunner, Marcus Mosiah Garvey, and we give honor to his government, our government, the Moorish American government, the government in which we live. According to Act 6, we give honors to the officials of this said government, our divine ministers and swift angels, our mufti, our royal council, our secretaries. We give honors to our citizens, the Moorish Americans. We give honors to our flag and our divine constitution and bylaws, the Holy Quran, our Grand National Seal, our Grand National Emblem, our Book of Fire, the exhument of a nation. We give honors to everything that is Moorish. We give a special high honor to you, National Sister Grand Sheikh, Dr. Shadu Amindi Ahmedi Shep Shuel, for bringing forth this grand Moorish perspective this evening. We give honors to all of our Moorish kin who have spoken before us, and to our Moorish kin that will speak after us. We give honors to you, angels. We continue to give the honors where they're due and honoring all true and divine prophets. And we give honors to our ancestors as they have come before us, leading the way, and we are them today without doubt or contradiction, because no one has the power to change man from his descent nature. We praise the Lord for that. And it's been a grand class, grand drawing on that job, and just bringing forth for a understanding when we talk about this veil and you know, I thought about when I was a child and you know, my first experiences of doing that, like playing hide and go seek and watching ninja movies and sneaking around, you know, and that was really my first experience being able to understand about, as Minister Bati Bay was talking about, concealing one's energy. You know, I figured out how to slow my heart rate down and bring my energy into myself instead of letting it escape out into the aura field where, you know, ones can feel that presence. And I didn't really know how exactly, you know, what I was doing as far as energy-wise, but I just knew that, you know, I could sneak up on ones, they wouldn't know that I was even there. And it came later down in life, just learning to be silent, learning not to think a lot, while, you know, like learning how to tune my mind down so that your presence is not overwhelming, because that's part of that process. Not only bringing your physical vibration down, but quieting your mind. And you can be in the presence of others, and ones don't even know you're there, because you're not, you know, interrupting the vibration of the area. And as it comes to the eye, it's just like, I think about it in the same message that, you know, you can bring one a message and they can receive it or not. They can receive the truth of the matter or not. But you ain't got to put yourself into it. Meaning you ain't got, you know, you don't have to put your emotion all into it. You ain't got to expose yourself in the position you play or your, I won't say the side you take, but really, you know, a position to the matter. You can just expose the truth of the matter, and one's not be able to read you. It's like they say, having the poker face. You know, you can have a good hand or bad hand, but one can't even read you, and they can't see where you at. You know, you're not displaying enthusiasm, and you're not displaying sadness. You just learning to be on an even keel or being balanced. And it's something I even remember watching Star Wars the first time, and when Obi-Wan was with Luke, and the first time he used the Force, and the security was like, "We're looking for these guys," and he was like, "We're not the ones you're looking for." And he turned to the sentry, was like, "Yeah, these ain't the guys," and they, you know, they kept moving. Like they couldn't even see that these is the ones that they was actually looking for, because the power of one's mind, the power of one's thought, as our chairman always says, you know, outthinking the dead. And when we get to a certain vibration, as one of the ministers talked about, being pure in heart, being pure in intentions, then you can do that. You can outthink the dead. You can put yourself in a position where one don't even see you. One, because you're not trying to draw their attention. You're not out there being flamboyant. You're not out there being loud, boisterous. You're not
trying to call attention to oneself. You just, in the surroundings, as they say, like a fly on the wall, you just observing. You make yourself smaller than the situation. And there's nothing wrong with that. And when you learning what we talk about here in the Morse America, psychic self-defense, that's an aspect of psychic self-defense. Is being able to, like I said, outthink the dead, puts yourself in a position where it's a defensive position where one can't attack. They can't attack because they can't see you. They can't see you because you put yourself in a position like boxing. You learn how to pivot, and not just parry, but when you learn how to pivot and move in angles, you can move a step behind one. And one got to turn to try to see you. And if you keep moving, they got to continue to turn to see you because you have stepped out of their vision. It's one of the moves I used to use all the time. When you come in for the punch, you step to their right, or will actually be to their left. Now they got to turn to their left to face you. And you'll see it. You've seen it done a lot of times, probably in boxing, where you see them, they able to grab one by the waist and they'll turn them because they've gotten behind them by stepping under and moving to the side. And that's part of how you can put yourself in a position to not even be seen. It's all about how you maneuver. It's all about, I've done it even times where you do it while people's talking. So a person may be deep in thought, they may be explaining, and you might just slip out the room, and they don't recognize until they finish their thought, and they turn to see if you're there, or they ask you a question, and you're like, you're not even. They realize that you're not even there anymore because they so deep in thought, they so entrained in their own thought pattern that they're not being aware of the present because their mind is somewhere else. And so, it's a science to it, definitely, but it's something that we are all capable of, like I said, in the psychic self-defense aspect of how we maneuver and how we maneuver as God and goddesses. That, you can put the veil over yourself. And you can remove the veil. You can do the opposite, make yourself clearly known, clearly stand out. If that's the point. I think that's one of the things that people loved about Tupac. And they would always talk about his emotion. This is why he stood out in the room, because he was able to project that energy from within himself, his emotions and his lyrics and his rap, and how he did things. It made him larger than life. And this is, I think, part of what he learned in the method acting. But it's a mental skill. It's a skill that, like I said, one can learn and adapt from. And it goes, like I said, it goes both ways. One can do it one way or the other way. And we, as Morse Americans, this is why the prophet said, you don't need no guns. You don't even need a pocket knife. If you can think, you can outthink the dead. And the prophet said, he can make one stop thinking. And you just get them Europeans together at the point right now where they two of them get together, and their minds ain't even gonna work. And that's the same way we, following the footsteps, can do the same thing as far as demonstrating the science of psychic self-defense. So it's just been a grand class. Awesome. Gratitude for the class, and gratitude to you, Morse America, for being here with us and giving us your time, attention, and respect. We love you. Islam and peace.
And Islam and peace to you as well, National Grand Mufti. Gratitude. All right. Let us call on our Grand National Secretary of State, Sister Hatshepsut Rakat Ma'at and Tutankhamun Bey. Islam. You there, Goddess and Queen?
Close to the thought. Can you hear me more?
Loud and clear with angelic ears.
Gratitude. Islam, Orishkin, first of all, want to rise, giving all praises to our Father God Allah, giving honor to our Prophet, Noble Jurah Ali, the last prophet in these days and times, giving honor to our Moorish American government, all of our officials, staff, with angels, muftis, divine ministers, most especially our Moorish guests. Giving honor to all those Moors that spoke before me, all those Moors that will speak after me. Giving a special honor to our National Assistant Grand Sheikh of Moorish America, Dr. Shetta Wamenti, and Mohead Chef Suel for opening our meeting according to law, and also hosting this Grand Moorish Perspectives class this evening. We want to give honor to our Consul General of Texas, Dr. Marvin Edwards Bay, for taking registration and reading our subject chapter for the week. Giving honor to Act 1. Our subject matter coming from Ayat 17, from chapter 19, he drew a veil about his form and men could see him not. How are you drawing a veil about yourself? This has been a beautiful class, Dr. Shaheed. Much gratitude to you and all of our Moorish that brought forth their measures. The word hijaba, dealing with to hinder one from access, or to cover or veil. And when I was reflecting on the subject matter, the thing that came to me is when we look at a veil, dealing with to conceal something or to cover it. When we look at latent powers, which the prophet spoke about in Caveat Emptor, and that's the powers, our God powers that we have that has not been tapped into. It lies dormant and it's unused until you activate the powers within yourself. And I was also looking at the master word that the prophet had, dealing with fortified by the impregnable doctrine built upon love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. So when something is impregnable, that means it cannot penetrate. When you are fortified by something, then you strengthen yourself on a mental level, dealing with the plane of soul. And you also are able to build up a security and protection about yourself, to ward off any kind of conflict. And in reference to how are you drawing a veil about yourself, when you immerse yourself into these lessons, when you keep your mind activated on your particular mission, the path that you were on, being able to solve the fix and things of that nature, when you engross your mind and keep it activated, then in essence, that's a way of losing oneself, or in order to be able to conform to the divine will. The other thing that I thought about was dealing with the silent fast, because there was fast spoken about in the chapter. And if you demonstrate the level of silence, which means not speaking, and I can remember we had this assignment on numerous occasions. And at first, in order for, if we wanted to convey a particular thought, we would write a note down, and flash it to whoever we were trying to communicate with. But then the instruction came, don't even use the notepad. Just, you have to be able to still your mind. And when you do that, cut off the speech. Of course, your thoughts are still going to be running, like warp speed throughout the mindset. And then after a couple of days, you see that the other senses have picked up, especially the hearing. The thoughts have slowed, and then you're able to see that a lot of times speech is not even necessary. And a lot of times we do a whole lot of talking, but in essence it's a lot of foolishness and folly. So when you're able to cut that speech off, which is one of the senses, then that in essence is also drawing a veil about yourself, because you come to the consciousness or the realization that you only demonstrate when it is necessary to demonstrate. So I thought about that master's degree as well. That's just like, if someone fast, whether it be from total abstention, which is nothing taken by mouth. There are different kinds of fast, but the goal is to be able to shield oneself from opposition, any kind of distractions. And I can recall the lesson that the chairman had in reference to our first instruction going out into divine ministry, teaching in the institution. You don't let anybody take over your class. Okay? That was the instruction. So that means that in going into the institution, we had to make sure that we kept it above the net. We could not allow ourselves, and the prophet gives us in his laws in reference to, you as a Moorish American don't get behind the podium under the influence of any kind of intoxicating whatevers or any kind of evil intent. So in the class, you may discern that you had one character that wanted to try to create a distraction. You had another one, this is nothing but a sister. I know I can take her off because she about all that, things of that nature. So you have different entities trying to redirect the course of what your special class or the instruction that you were given had to be given. So you have to be fortified. You have to be focused on what the mission was in order to complete the mission. So I was just reflecting on all these past experiences and recognizing that this is another way to discipline and control your mind to gain self-mastery. Because when you go out here in this world and see, we deal with the level of a hermit. But in this day and time, in this new era of time, you can still demonstrate from the level of a hermit in reference to being within the self, but not being out. You can be out there in the world, but not being of the world, and that's the difference. So this is just such a grand lesson, because the other thing is, when you're on that high vibrational level, and the prophet speaks about finite mind cannot comprehend those things infinite. So just like the brothers were speaking about, you can increase your level of vibration and you can lower it, where so much so that you may seem invisible, and I've moved around through demonstrations depending on the mission, where, I've moved on such a level where one couldn't even see you because of, you have drawn a veil about yourself. So it's not dealing with spookism. Also, when it speaks about the realm of space and time, you can go beyond those degrees when you are dealing with the essence and the science of the thing. So this is why we can't state it enough. What our people term as spookism is actually your God powers that may have become dormant in this particular era of time, but it's up to you to be able to find out the tools that you have been provided by your creator to be able to use it for the benefit not only of your special nation, but the rest of the nations of the earth. This is how we're able to stop one from thinking. But if you have any kind of fear, doubt, or you don't think it's real, or it's a lot of what have you, then in essence, you cannot demonstrate these degrees. So of course, finite mind would say it ain't about all that. And that's why they can't comprehend. So this is such a powerful degree, Moors can. We definitely encourage our Moors to go within the self, study the self, in order to be that message that you bring. So gratitude, Moor, for calling me forth. Much peace and love to all of my Moorish kin. Islam.
In Islam, Grand National Secretary of the State, gratitude for the measure. Allah is lead on and victory is sure. Well, all right, since we already in the house, let us call forth our Grand National Chairman, Dr. Akin Acton Pert M. Heru, Tut the Common Bay. Islam, you there, Grand Man?
Well, close as I thought.
Oh, man, I know you guys.
Oh, man, let me give praise to Allah and on to the last Papa these days in time. And get much honor to the last Papa bringing us his most American so everything, And the thing about it is that I like this something, that would say, I do a real about his form, and man can see him not. Yeah, well, thing about it is when a mole come out of that unconscious state and go into his highest level of consciousness, men don't see him because they still used to seeing him in that unconscious state. And that's the reason why even today, although we know we're more to mother, they still think we NBC because they don't see what it means to be divine. They don't know what it means to have a higher level of thought pattern. That's why man can't see it. As the prophet said, man can see him not, So thing about it is, you, when you is going into the proper level, then you are removing the veil. It don't make a dime whether man can see you or don't see you. The thing about it is, who made you? Man didn't make you. Okay? So that's the main thing right there. So this is what I got to say. It's a powerful journey. Boy, this is a powerful class. It's almost without a schism.
That's right. Islamism without the schism. We say gratitude for that measure right there, Chairman. Powerful. That's right. See, they don't know the real veil is that new God, that we put on, and we call that some LTPF and J. Islam. Well, all right. Let us call forth our national grand sheep, Dr. Serapis Amin Raya. Islam, you there, sheep?
It's close to thought.
Oh, man. Well, we know that's the thought the prophet brought.
Islam. Give prophet the highest honor. First, let us give our prophet the highest love that can be given. Prophet, we give the highest honor to everything it is, was, and ever going to be. Amen. And Sister Grand Chief, this has been a very, very powerful sequence of events within this lesson that you sent out tonight. Being able to move the body of the dispensation without even touching it. One don't even see you touching it. They see you looking. Well, you might assume, I say, that one is on a different level. But if you ain't focused on or said anything to it, you don't know. At the same time, he's giving you a vibration. And the vibration is so powerful. This is what she was alluding to, being able to get that thought out there, and just be yourself while in the midst of a fool. The wise man has a better means of doing things, giving himself that candid light of love and the different other orders that he has within his belt. One say, well, I talking to love, so don't try to put it in a box. All you got to do is just be yourself. And this is what I heard all night tonight. One being itself, being the higher self, not the lower self, the higher self, but mother of virtues in the heart of life. If we just virtue, love, and right, we get those elements to the non-spoken word in tune that we vibrate at this slow space. it gives one a drawing, even if they can't see where we at along the way. We know what we're saying. And we know because of being here on faith, it's coming our way and giving us a drawing as we are those ones that prophets came and said, be still, and everything in the house is still. Praise God. Thank you for this blessing. See, Islam. But, God, excuse me. Praise the Lord for his lesson. And we pray to continue to find out our principles along the way and let one demonstrate it on a day-to-day basis so that one may be able to see the God man, the God men and women as they unfold the proper laws and laws we be well sent to determine to enforce or to bring on the manifest Islam. Sister Brandy,
Islam, can you?
nobody?
Yes, sir. Can you hear me, Sheikh?
Yes, sir, I can hear you.
Yes, sir. Gratitude.
Islam.
Yes, sir. What you need me to close out, grand man?
So I can close out. I start making you Islam.
Oh no, all
ahead,
is good.
Angel.
Now you know we once the Sheikh speak, the Sheikh done spoke. Islam.
Islam.
Yeah, I was just wondering if you was calling on me to close out for you. That's all.
Okay. January 15, 1929. The warning from the prophet, read in every everybody inform all citizens they must end all radical and agitated speech while at work in their homes, on the streets. We are for peace and not destruction. Stop driving your car into European. It causes confusion. Your car is for your salvation. Faith to obey these orders will feel severe consequences. We are for love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. And when these principles are violated, justice then will take its course. Any member or group of members hold religious feelings towards the government or the prophet are violating divine covenant. And the more movement will receive their reward allowed for their injustice. Of true Lord's will, we must obey the law and lay down the damn by their prophet. They lose confidence in their prophet. Turning the card to present. Each one interprets said, returns to stay without the prophet found. This is a holy divine move founded by the prophet number 2 hours. If the prophet is not right, the government is not right. The prophet therefore does not the divine plea. You all must measure to do their part in protecting the prophet and the government. This is the everlasting move founded by the prophet, the will of Allah, to redeem his people under the simple ways. The order of the prophet number 2 hours. This divine warning is supreme laws now and will be enforced. How the state government Islam. Or the government. You're the children of one father, guided for God's care, and the breast of my mother has given me son. As the father of faith, therefore unite. As the father of affection, therefore unite you with God's brother, that each has to get close and Father's house. And when you separate in the world, remember the relation with God to us, turn out the candidates of our own blood. Without brothers in diversity and sisters, if I could do Jones and Jugger not, so still supporting the wild God. The church is supporting its whole faith, and it can be continued to be and lunch be just going for you on a new day. Islam, long live, or that.
Man, class. Great class,
Sister Grant. Great class. The long rules of the you do.
Islam, Moors. Islam, Moors. We love you. We love you as well, Moors. And y'all already know the best is yet to come. We waiting on it. Islam. Yeah. Islam.
This session is no
Grand
longer
message
being
from the
recorded.
Moors as well. We give honor to all of you. See y'all in Sunday school tomorrow. So once the guides and the guiders of the nation arrive in the ride, Sunday school, Islam. Well, all right. Want to give honors also to our family, you know, for showing up, you know, the faithful, you know, Noble Brian, you know, Brother Gary Miles Bay, Don L, Kamaat, Shu Bay, Tarif Bay, Marquise, all of you brothers, you know, gratitude with a divine attitude. Islam. Peace and love.
Goodbye.